Hello everyone, this is Alex the Blue Man, and welcome to yet another review. This will be one of the two of my late reviews. For this one, I'm going to be talking about How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World, which is the third and final film in its own trilogy. So this is the only film that I have not seen in the theater. I saw the first two, but not this one, because, I don't know, I'm just used to seeing movies that have a May or June release date. Back to the movie itself though, it's hard to talk about this without talking about the previous movies first. So what I'm going to say about this is, what I'm going to talk about will depend if any of you have seen these movies or not. Now with all that said, will this movie fly higher, or will the dragons come crashing down hard? Let's figure it out. Another thing, since this movie is out for almost a year now, this review will require some spoiling, so do not watch this video if you haven't seen said movie yet. In here, there are two sets of story. Hiccup and the rest of the village have to avoid the so-called dragon hunter, and to find the so-called hidden world to keep the dragons safe due to overpopulation, and Toothless found his mate, a female albino Night Fury. Okay, that's technically 3 stories. And that's pretty much how I describe the story itself. But what's important is presentation, and aesthetic, and etc. And everything looks grand. The dragons look numerous. There are a lot of species of dragons. In the first, there are like only 6 to 7. In 2, there are 30 plus, and now here it has to be like hundreds of species. One of the few new species are even scorpion-like. Also, I'll just say this, it is just, and I mean just, great to see the human characters again, like Hiccup, Astrid, and the others. Just the familiar faces that we all come to know and love from these films. And just seeing what they're up to and what problems that they'll have. Except for a few, in my opinion, which I will talk about later in the video. A few of my favorite scenes was the flashback scenes with toddler Hiccup and his late father, Stoic the Vast. The vibes I got from those scenes felt peaceful and deep, and I like the sense of that. Another great moment, and it's a hilarious one, is when Toothless does various tricks and dances to impress the female Night Fury. It was cringy, but in a funny way, so it's why I enjoy it for its cringiness. Basically a dating simulator for dragons. The ending of the movie is also really good. It's the ending of Toy Story 4, but I felt it's done better here. Hiccup and his clan have to move on from the dragons. The world has pretty much forgotten that dragons existed. Hiccup and Astrid got married and have kids, and they finally reunited with Toothless and Light Fury, and they also have kids of their own. All of that, I felt it was a really good way to close these films on a good note, because even though the world moved on, at least it's great to see Hiccup and Toothless reunite for one last time at a futuristic setting. For the negatives, there are quite a few, and they are in the beginning scene when Hiccup tries to do some stealth on an enemy boat, only for the other side characters, minus Astrid, to mess things up. From Rough Nuts and Tough Nuts bickering, to Fish Legs taking care of a baby Grunkle Dragon, to finally Snotlout, I think that's his name, treating Hiccup's mother like a queen. That got some sense of repetition, and then the villain's defeat, the villain's final defeat, felt a bit anticlimactic. He just fell to the waters down below, nothing that much spectacular. For the characters, let's start with Hiccup. Since Stoic's passing, he is the new chief in charge of the citizens of Berk. And he looked like he struggles quite a lot here, involving Grimmel the Grizzly, keeping dragons safe despite overpopulation, and Toothless finding a mate. This is mainly him coming to terms with him and Toothless moving on with their lives. If I saw all that in the theater, that would have been much more intense and saddening. Astrid is just there for romantic and emotional support. For the most part, the members of their gang, they at times annoy me, but I'd rather listen to any of them than Rough Nut. At least that's what I think is the female twin's name. She is just a major piece of irritation. I even know how Grimmel feels when he lets her out of her imprisonment. Rough Nut is just obliviously obnoxious, and I cannot stand her. She even caused Toothless to get captured. Moving on to Eret and Gobber. Both are just there for comedic effect. Or mainly Eret is, but one moment with Gobber proved pretty effective. There's a recurring gag where he keeps seeing those frog-like dragons multiplying, and it freaks him out because he thinks they're a voodoo curse. When he was fighting an enemy, he switches his curse onto his foe. That was really neat. And now to Grimmel the Grizzly. This guy is like a bounty hunter, like Lockdown from Transformers, because both play by their own rules and capture their prey. Only Grimmel does it for the hunt, while Lockdown does it for the bounty. The problem is, he isn't all that scary or powerful of a villain, the more I think about it, to the likes of Draco Bloodfist, I think that's his name, from the second movie, because one wields alpha control over dragons while the other just hunts dragons, although both share a similar fate. And there you have it. Despite the irritations I've got from some supporting characters, a couple of moments I didn't enjoy as much, and a weaker villain this time around, this animated film is still enjoyable for what it is. Is it better than 2? Close, but it is certainly a good conclusion, and a good piece of closure to this trilogy, especially with that ending, in which I will say 2019 might as well be called the year where animated movie characters split up. But I personally feel that this film did a much better job with that compared to Toy Story 4, and that's just my opinion. And with all that said, I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World an 8.3 out of 10. Well, that's one late review down, and only one more to go for Detective Pikachu. Finally, I'm getting my review making back on track, because next week, I'm gonna try to make 2 top 10 videos before I finally, and I mean finally, get back into gaming. And I am thinking about making a haul video in my spare time, but I need to think about it further. I'm not agreeing with that yet. So, thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down your thoughts on this movie if you've seen it, and as usual, I hope you all have a great Blurific day.